Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a real treat to share with you. I'm going to make a strawberry crunch cake, and that is the cake that you see with the strawberry and vanilla crunch crumbles around the icing. It sort of reminds you of the ice cream bar. So I'm going to show you how to make the cake, the icing, and the crumble. So now let's just go over the ingredients, and I hope that you enjoy. Okay, so let's just go over the ingredients that we're going to need for the strawberry cake. Now this, I can tell you, is the best strawberry cake I have ever had. And yes, it does start with white cake mix. But the ingredients that you add to it is what makes it really special. And honestly, I would not ever make a strawberry cake from scratch without the cake mix. I think it's just a really good recipe. So let's go over the cake mix ingredients first. Of course, you're going to need some eggs. Now, I'm doing a double recipe, which is going to make a 10-inch cake. If you want to make anything smaller than that, then just have this recipe in half. All of the ingredients and recipe instructions will be in the description box for the cake, the icing, and the crumble. Okay, so you're going to need eggs. You're going to need 2 boxes of white cake mix, and as you see, I have 2 different brands here. It does not matter if you mix brands. It comes out the same, and this is what I had on hand. You're going to need 2 boxes of strawberry gelatin. You're going to need 1 pound of frozen strawberries. We're going to actually puree this in the food processor to get a strawberry puree. You're going to need some milk, and you're going to need some vegetable oil. Okay, so that's everything for the cake. Now for the crumble, it's very simple. You're going to need 1 box of strawberry gelatin and 1 box of vanilla pudding and a stick of butter. For the icing, you're going to need confectioner's sugar, heavy whipping cream, butter, and cream cheese icing. Now again, I make a layer cake. You can use any kind of cake pans you want. I have 2 10-inch cake pans here. These need to be greased. I greased mine with Crisco and dusted with flour. You can use butter, flour, whatever combination, but you definitely want to make sure you do that so they do not stick. So those are the ingredients. We're going to do this in parts, and we are going to start with the cake. So now we're just going to puree our frozen strawberries. You want to let them thaw out first. And just going to dump them in your food processor. And you're going to, I have a puree button, puree / mix. You're going to want to push that. So you're looking for just like a puree strawberry, like it'll look like a sauce, like a mash really. So I still have a few chunks, so I'm going to let it go a little bit more. So you want to check it just and see if you need to move things around. I still have a few chunks. It is definitely getting there. So I'm just going to move it around a little bit. And I probably only need a few more seconds. That is looking good to me. And that's what you're looking for, like a sauce, strawberry sauce. And that is really going to make this cake have a very nice strawberry punch to it. All right. Now on to the cake mix. So this is literally the easiest cake you will ever make because you pretty much dump everything in at once and mix. So I already put the cake cake mixes in the bowl. So you're going to add everything else. You're going to add your eggs. Now I always crack my eggs in a separate bowl just in case you get a bad one. You're going to add your milk. You're going to add all remaining ingredients. You're going to add your oil. I had to make a mess. You're going to add your 2 boxes of gelatin. And last but not least, you're going to add all that wonderful strawberry puree. So this is basically a dump cake. Very easy. None of that stage mess that can be a little time consuming. Okay, and you are going to mix this well for 3 minutes, and you want to scrape it a couple of times in between during those 3 minutes. So definitely start off slow because you have a lot of ingredients in there. So start off very slow and mix it for 3 minutes. Okay, so this is how the batter is going to look after it's fully mixed. I mean, it's just a gorgeous batter. So you're going to pour this evenly in between your 2 10-inch pans. And of course, I eyeball it. After making cakes for so long, you just kind of eyeball it. But you want to make them evenly as possible. Okay, that looks really, really good. I'll just clean up the edges, and one good tip to do is to tap your pans onto your counter to release any bubbles. Now we're going to put these pans in a 350 preheated oven. I will start checking my cakes around 30 minutes for doneness. At 30 minutes, you want to check it. It may take longer than that, but that's when I start checking it, and I'll let you know exactly how long these cakes cook. All right, so into the oven they go. So the cakes bake for about 40 minutes, and I let them cool in the pan for about 5 minutes, and then turn them out onto a cooling rack to cool completely. So they smell so good. They're very, very moist. So now we are going to move to the next step, which is the crumble. Okay, so now we're going to make the crumble. Now, one thing I did forget to mention when I talked about the ingredients is I forgot to mention you will need some flour. So you need 1/4 cup of flour in each crumble mixture. So we're going to start with the vanilla, and what you're going to do is you're just going to put the vanilla in the bowl, and you're going to put 1/2 stick of butter in the vanilla, and you're going to put 1/4 cup of flour. So then what you're going to do is you're just going to mash this up until it resembles a crumbly mixture. So almost like you're making pie dough. So So you just want to keep mashing it, and it will come together. Until you get a crumbly texture. Okay, so now we've done the vanilla plain. So now we're going to do the strawberry. I've already added the butter. So let's put the strawberry mix in. And then you want to put a 1/4 cup of flour. And you're going to do the same thing. You're just going to mash that in until it is all mixed in, and it'll be a little bit crumbly. I mean, it will be soft too because you know the butter's soft, but you're just looking for it to be a little crumbly and all mixed in. And so you're just going to do that. Okay, so now you have your 2 crumble mixtures, and you want to have a cookie sheet lined with parchment paper. So you're going to put both mixtures on the pan. And you're going to mix them together. It doesn't have to be, you know, even or anything, because we're going to crumble this, so it's all going to be mixed together in the end. What you want to do is flatten it out. Flatten it out. Okay. It's already looking really pretty. And it smells really, really good. Okay. Doesn't have to be perfect, but you want to flatten it out. And now what we're going to do is we're going to put this into a 350-degree oven for 6 to 8 minutes. You don't want to go past that because you do not want it to burn. It will burn. So since my oven has already been on cooking the cake, I'm going to check it at 6 minutes. You just don't you don't want it to be brown or anything. You just want it to be a little, you know, a little hard to the touch. But 6 to 8 minutes will do. You can take it out of 6. You can take it out of 8. Either one will work. So I'm going to put that in the oven now, and once it comes out, you're going to want it to let it cool on the cookie sheet for 30 minutes to an hour, and then we're actually going to crumble this in the food processor. So I'll show you that process later when we're ready. Okay. So this is how the crumble will look when it comes out the oven and you let it cool. You can actually start to break it up into pieces like this, and you're gonna break it up into pieces and put it into your food processor. Okay, so once you have it in your food processor, you're just going to the lid on, and you're going to pulse it just for a couple of seconds first, just to get it broken up. Okay, that didn't work. I meant to hit pulse. You just want to pulse it. couple of seconds, and then you can let it go. Okay, so let's see how that looks. It actually looks really, really good. And that's what you have. You basically have a nice crumble. Now, what I like to do is I like to make this like, you know, a day in advance. And because it's very oily right now. But if you take this out, put it in a bowl, and put it in your refrigerator overnight, it will release, that oil will dry out. So I am going to do that and put it in my fridge overnight. And then we will be able to decorate the cake. But that is so pretty. I love the mixture of the yellow and strawberry. Just to get a closer look of the crumble. Really pretty. Okay, so now we're going to make the cream cheese icing. So in here I have two sticks of butter and 2 8 ounces of cream cheese. Now make sure that they're room temperature. That's very important. I left them out overnight so that they will be nice and soft. So first you're just going to blend the cream cheese and butter together. Okay, once that's blended, just give it a good scrape on the sides. All right, so now you are ready to add your powdered sugar. Now I just add a little at a time because you don't want it to splash everywhere all over your kitchen. Okay, and you want to start it very slowly. And I just kind of pulse it a little bit and let that incorporate. So you're going to add all of your sugar in increments and scraping in between. Now we're going to add more sugar. And we're going to do the same until this whole 2-pound bag of sugar is used up. So now that all of your sugar is mixed in, you're going to add your cream. Now this is 4 tablespoons of cream. I'm only going to add half and then check my consistency. I'm actually liking my consistency, so I'm not going to add any more cream. And I have decided to add a little bit of vanilla to mine. That's up to your preference. You can taste it first, but I think a little bit of vanilla always adds a nice little touch. So what you're going to do is you're just going to beat this on medium speed for about 1 to 2 minutes. So once your icing is done, you're going to want it to look like this. It is very, very smooth, nice, beautiful cream cheese icing. Okay, so now we're going to start icing our 2-layer cake. Now, I am used to my grandmother's homemade looking cake. So I do not try to be perfect when I ice this cake. I like it to look homemade. I also decorate professional looking cake decorate them. And so on those, of course, you're trying to be pristine. You're using fondant. You're doing all this other kind of stuff. This one is a homemade cake. We want the icing to look, you know, homemade and rustic. So any home baker can do this. So I'm just gonna add some cream cheese icing. You just want to smooth it out. I'm using a turntable, and that does help with icing. So you just want to ice that as smooth as you can, even as you can. Add a little bit more here. That looks good. So now you want to add your second layer. Okay, you want to press it down a little bit. All right. Okay, so now you just want to add icing to the top. All right, and then you just want to ice the cake, let it fall down the sides. And I like to use a smaller spatula just to get around the sides. This cream cheese icing is a little soft. It's a little humid today. So if you have room in your refrigerator, you probably will want to store it in there for a little bit. Maybe before you add your crumble. So we're just going to do the sides of the cake. So now that your cake is iced, you're going to want to add your crumble. And this is the crumble after being in the fridge overnight. As you can see, it's just very crumbly. It's hard. There's not a lot of oil on my hands. And I like to do it this way. So don't worry about the mess. You're just going to apply it to the sides. In hindsight, I would have used a bigger cake plate, but we're going to make this work. And you're just going to apply it to the sides. Look how gorgeous this is looking. So this is the strawberry crunch cake. It looks so good and pretty. I don't even know if the camera is doing it justice, but it is very, very, very pretty cake. So I will get it, a picture of it once it's cut into, once we serve it for the event. But this is how it's looking. I hope you make this. It is a decadent cake. And it's just really, really pretty with the colors and everything. So I hope you enjoy. And thanks for watching.